4, 3, 2. Hello, sports fans. It's episode 8 of Haystack Hates Your Music, Haystack Hates Indie. I'm your friend, Chris Kennard, joined as always by the incredible, the phenomenal Haystack West. Good old Los. How are you, sir?
Hey, man. Can't complain. Every day above ground's a good one, you know?
I completely agree. Thank you for your patience with me, both you and to the audience. Life is just like, what's up? And I'm like, oh God. And we were like, oh, we'll like have a late July, late August like upload, and it's almost the end of the year. But we're here now, and I'm thankful when I got your text, like, so what's up? And I'm like, you know what? We're getting right to it. So this is like the end of our second voyage, as it were. And the focus is on just like independent music, or for lack of a better term, hipster ass music. And we are joined also by my beloved collaborator and friend, brother from another mother, the living abstraction, A.L. Electric Headspace. Good to have you with us as well, friend. Just to like warm up the conversation muscles, Los, what's your prediction for Crown Jewel this year?
Well, the question is, will I even watch it, or will I even be able to watch it this year? Because I may gotta work. So
oh shit, you may have to, man.
Nevertheless,
I didn't think about that shit.
Crown Jewel is their Saudi pay-per-view, so it's just going to be a filler pay-per-view. It's
really?
just going to be to entertain the people of that country. So Crown Jewel is essentially a live show pay-per-view, if that makes sense. It's not a pay-per-view that is essentially canon, like your Fast Lanes, your SummerSlams, your Royal Rumbles, your Hell in a Cells, so on and so forth. Not to say that only the American pay-per-views are the canon pay-per-views, but that's just how they structure it. So more than likely, you're not going to see a lot of title changing in this pay-per-view. Roman Reigns is definitely going to remain champion. That's a given.
I think so too. We have to build that that tension a little bit more, in my opinion.
Do we?
Yes.
It's been 3 years now. Like
even still, like I don't see like Paul, hi Triple H. I don't think he's gonna be like, oh yeah, like we're gonna let LA Knight win tonight, like of all nights. I don't think so. We're gonna get a good match.
No, and that's a good point. So that's why Roman Reigns is going to remain champion on that note. I can't 100% remember the card, but if I'm not
I have it up.
All right. What are the other matches?
So the big one is Roman versus LA Knight. Seth versus Drew for the championship.
Okay.
The 5-way for the women's. Cena and Solo. Io Sky and Bianca, Mysterio and Logan Paul, Rhodes and Damian, and Sammy versus JD.
Okay, now you have your other championship match.
At least 2 more, yeah.
Rollins versus Drew Mack.
Let's go smack.
I want to remain true to what I just said, but with the World Heavyweight Championship in particular, that's a special case.
I think they should put on Drew Mack because I'm worried about that nigga's back.
Yes.
That nigga hurt. I don't like to see that shit.
That's where I'm getting at. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a possibility that Drew Mack can take this. Why? Because the World Heavyweight Championship
he fits the bill.
The secondary World Championship belt. Your World Championship belt is the Universal Championship belt. That's Roman Reigns'
the big 3.
Right? Your singles belt is the Intercontinental Championship on Raw. the United States Championship on SmackDown. And Gunther has the Intercontinental Championship on Raw. He's had it for the last 500 days. And
he's not dropping.
Austin
not
Theory,
till WrestleMania.
Austin Theory is the U.S. champion, in which Austin Theory, get out of my company.
Wait, I thought Ray took the joint off him. He lost it again?
Yeah, I believe he did. The last I checked, Austin Theory was still champion.
If the Mysterio Logan fight is for the belt.
Oh, so Mysterio is champion again. Good.
Yes, sir.
Good. That's good.
Thank God. Thank God.
Right. With that being said, Mysterio should
win
that match because
I'm good either way. I'm good either way because I'm gonna see. It's a good story either way. I just want a good match.
It's a simple story.
Sure.
That's why it like shouldn't go either way. Like it's a simple, Rey Mysterio title defense. That's what it should lead to, by logic. But who knows what they'll do because, hey man, they dick ride Logan Paul, and given the fact that Logan Paul's talented, man, I really just don't like that dude, dog. Like I don't. People don't forget, bro. And I remember his YouTube days. So
I will never. Even if the world forgets, I'll never let them forget because
never.
I don't think like he ever made proper retribution, in my opinion.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that shit is disrespectful as fuck, and I don't play that shit.
In any event, that 5-way, does that have championship implications?
Yes, I think it's like five wrestlers for like the women's belt. Yo, shout out to the man for elevating the NXT brand, by the way. Like putting in that fucking work, even with like the jacked up arm.
Man, it wasn't just the men that elevated that brand, bro.
Well, that's the point. That's a good point.
Everybody been knocking it out the park in NXT. Everyone. They have been.
I've seen some shit. I'm like, y'all are going in, bro.
But what I told Luis the other day while taking him and his wife to the airport, coming back from the airport. This is NXT is essentially everything Shawn Michaels has wanted to do in the last 30 years of WWE programming.
Wow.
Let it sink in. The man essentially began the Attitude Era. Why? Because he constantly was in tiffs backstage with other wrestlers outside of his clique.
Sure. A rabble-rouser.
Because he rubbed people the wrong way because he had a certain vision that could better this company, just went about the wrong way of delivering it. And so the curtain
call he has the wisdom attached.
Yeah, the curtain call incident is what essentially changed the company, because that incident caused Triple H his push for another year, because he was supposed to be King of the Ring that year. And instead, we got the birth of Austin 316. So, Shawn was still champion. However, him and Triple H is pretty much telling Vince, it all goes back to that phone call we made to you about changing this business. Everything about it is stiff right now. We need to loosen it up. And that's how we got the Attitude Era. So the Attitude Era is essentially, not fully, Shawn Michaels' responsibility, because he's always wanted to like push the limits of the company as far as entertainment went.
Okay.
And NXT is the exact like manifestation of it. That's why I love NXT.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Any intrigue or anything on the other side with the AEW folks that you're interested in or nah?
Yeah, no.
Damn.
Not because like with me, I I grew up on being sports entertained to the point where I'm hardwired to it.
Sure.
But with AEW, they have flashes of brilliance in their productions as well. So every once in a while, I'll like dabble into Dynamite, or like I'll just so happen to come across an episode of Collision and just tune in for a little bit and see what they're up to. Um, Christian and his TNT champion run is absolutely comical for the simple fact that
Diabolical even.
this man is an excellent heel. An
Yeah.
excellent heel. Like, oh, he's really, really good at playing the bad guy right now. And the reason why he's really, really good at playing the bad guy right now is that he takes elements from being the old school heel and getting old school heat. And it's a dangerous game that you play, but he's playing it brilliantly because he's not getting the fans involved in his game. Once you get the fans involved in the game,
It's
that's
over.
when it get a little spooky for motherfuckers, right? But using the heel tactics of the old school within his character for the other wrestlers, that's what makes it so brilliant. Like he calling everybody his sons like he's Nicki Minaj. It's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? But then
Yeah.
you have, things like Jack Perry. And he's like taking a whole bad guy role, and I'm like, okay,
He's kind of
I don't
wimpy.
know
I ain't gonna
how
front.
I don't know how far that's going to go because he's such a baby face. Not even a baby face as the term or concept. That motherfucker like looks like the kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And though you may hate it, you'll be beloved being the kid. And that just is what it is. Like take Roxanne Perez, for example, out on
Baby
NXT.
face.
She is a gold mine of potential to the fact that not only Book trained her well, first and foremost. Like we got to give credit where credit is due. Booker T
Oh
did
yeah.
excellent work and training her. She was the youngest Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and so it's nowhere but up for her in wrestling ability. Like she already up there, but she can only get better. And then not only that, her just her gimmick in general, like the gimmick, the personality, the psychology of it all, is top tier because it's a gimmick of many facets, even though it's on the surface just one thing seemingly. That's how you gimmick. You know what I'm saying? And with Jack Perry, it's like I don't know what you're trying to do. The whole bad guy thing. You're
I'm
wearing
bored by him. I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna front.
you're and it's like you're wearing the old man's jacket from the 90210 days, and it's like,
Could not give
yeah,
less
but
of a
what are you gonna
fuck.
do with it? You know what I'm saying? And he ain't doing much. He ain't showing me much. And then like another thing about AEW is that their roster is too extensive at this point.
Oh, too big?
It's too big. You have your shows mainstays, and they keep a rotation of like, mid carders and lower carders that are coming from that are, getting a little bit of screen time aside from dark elevation on YouTube. And it's like, I'm not going on YouTube to watch wrestling unless it's DPW because it's the boys. I love Deadlock. But I'm not going to watch AEW on YouTube and then watch Dynamite on Wednesdays, then Collision on Saturdays, and then y'all do like little special episodes on the third day every so like, every so occasion. That's a bit too much for me. I got
I'm
a
saying a
set
lot coming from
schedule
you.
on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Mondays for 3 hours, Tuesdays for 2, Fridays for 2. WWE has the formula down pat. They don't need you to. You can go on Peacock to watch their extra stuff, but you don't necessarily have to, because those people that are on Peacock, they're going to be on screen as well to continue their storylines. They have a tight shit going on WWE. It's a little too vast on AEW. Yeah, I want to see a lot of dream matches, but there also has to be a consistency on your shows, because you're presenting something to people, and these people, these wrestlers are going to get popular with these people. These people are going to want to see more of these wrestlers. How are we going to see more of these wrestlers if they're on a rotation of sorts?
All I'll say, and we'll move on to like the music and stuff, is that the one thing that like I think that AEW has that the WWE does not have is its connections to other promotions. I like the fact that AEW stars can like randomly show up on like ROH or like New Japan. Like that shit, I feel like is like the perfect solution to the large ass roster that they have. But that's on them. That's on Tony. You know what I mean? All I
Yeah.
will say though, after all this conversation, is like, yo, Wrestling Universe, give my nigga a job. Put this man on commentary. Like, what are y'all fucking doing?
Somebody bang
Huh?
my line. I don't even care if it's WWE anymore. AEW, TNA, now recently changed
Somebody.
back to TNA. Fucking Major League Wrestling. Bang my line, dog.
Shit. Don't make me fuck around, come back to MCP, and come back to Moco just to start my own, like, start our own company. Because, like,
I'll do commentary. I'll do writing. I'll do
saying,
like
bruh.
making sure the superstars are good mentally, like
Oh, gee,
whatever.
even, bruh.
But helping these stars, build their gimmick, things like that. Like I can be
Developmental?
Dusty
Come
Rhodes.
on.
You know what I'm saying? I can be Dusty.
Yeah, New American Dream? Oh, yeah, I can see it.
You know what I'm saying? You got that pop, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Well then,
I miss
let's
Dusty.
move on to
I
like
miss Dusty.
our feature presentation. R.I.P. Dusty for real, bro. I hope he's suplexing motherfuckers in heaven, like just on principle alone.
Well, for what it's worth, his boys are making him absolutely proud. So there's
1000%, bro.
So Dustin, he's still at it. He might retire soon though. And then
I hope he
Cody,
gets a dream match for himself.
and then Cody really pulled the
Hot.
motherfucking checkmate on WWE, because
He is hot.
he left WWE, took a chance on himself, started a whole company, and then came back to WWE much more popular than he was when he left. Checkmate.
He Frank Ocean the whole industry.
Yeah. Bingo. That part. That's essentially what he did. He's the Frank Ocean of wrestling.
And speaking of Frank Ocean, like Taylor Swift, megastar in her own rights, has become a billionaire because the people who owned her masters sold them to Bieber's manager, and being the scumbag that he is, allegedly, would not sell them back to Swift. So she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna get it back in blood. Say again?
And so she redid the album.
Every single fucking one so far. And so, like, because she's done such a thing, I bring this up to say labels allegedly are like trying to draft up in-laws to say, hey, if you sign to us, you can't re-record your own shit for 10 to 30 years after the fact, just to prevent something like this ever happening again. Which says to me, if you make music, do not fucking sign to a major, no matter what they fucking promise. You better have the best goddamn entertainment lawyer in the world before you ever consider signing to a major. You should remain independent, which is the conversation we're having today.
Hold that thought.
Yes, sir.
Because I want a quick chime in before you segue, but
Please.
I just received some breaking news in the sports world.
What?
The Washington Commanders are what's the word I'm looking for? Not collapsing, because there's nothing to collapse.
What do you mean?
Cleaning house.
Oh, everyone's getting fired.
Yeah, no. They're rebuilding. That's the word I'm looking for. They're officially starting to rebuild. They just got rid of their defensive line anchors and Montez Sweat. And they just dealt Chase Young to the 49ers. The 49ers now have Chase Young and Joey Bosa on their defensive line.
That's a choice.
That's terrifying. However, Taylor Swift, I don't like her.
You don't? However, why?
You know what? Taylor Swift is my best example of how white mediocrity is championed over black excellence sometimes. Not even sometimes. Moderately.
Right. But go on.
Anything. People champion Taylor Swift as much as Beyonce.
Yes, that much is clear. This whole year is a reflection of that, with both like the mega tours and the films.
My thing is, while Beyonce has the talent, Taylor Swift doesn't.
Explain that.
Okay. We want so bad for Taylor Swift to be this, country-rooted pop sensation. And the reality of it all is there are so many like artists much better than Taylor Swift that didn't get the push that Taylor Swift got, that didn't work as hard, I guess, as Taylor Swift did, which I respect.
Yeah, she put the grind in, that's for sure.
Now, while I don't like her, I do have a respect for Taylor Swift in the sense that what she's doing right now with like literally redoing her entire catalog just so she can make it hers. That, as well as the fact that generally she just seems like a regular girl. Like she
probably went on to high school or something like that.
She just seems like just a regular kid. Like she's not really like the famous secondary for the most part, but like she's like the Anne Hathaway of music to me.
Huh.
Like, you know how Anne Hathaway is like, she's just absolutely her true self. There's no like facade,
no flaws as far as we can see.
What you see is what you get with Anne Hathaway, whether it's like quirky or awkward or just absolutely stunning.
we saw like we didn't like that third Batman movie, but she did her shit. Let's keep it a buck.
Exactly. And while we make fun of while we make fun of how Taylor Swift has a long bag instead of an ass,
I don't
and
do that. That was the Bodega Boys. That was not me.
she's still a pretty girl, So it's like I get the allure. However, the singing isn't it
Oh,
isn't
so
Beyonce's
this
level.
is a vocalist thing. Okay.
I'll tell you the fuck what, it isn't Beyonce great. My thing is 9 times out of 10, your pipes are best when it comes out of a church. And that's something I'm extending a hand here as a reach, Jordan style, possibly. That's something white America doesn't 100% understand for one reason or another. And it's like I've been to, I guess you could say, white predominant churches.
Oh, as of I.
The music there ain't it's like festive, you know?
It's
And
light rock, active, not even active rock. It's light. It's like it's soft rock,
yeah, and
maybe even yacht rock.
while that's cool, you go to a black church and it's soul. And soul,
It's like you got like that perfect balance of like jubilation or just absolute humility.
exactly.
Maybe a touch of showboating, depending on what congregation you attend.
Exactly. And soul is something that not a lot of white people have, man. Like there are white people out there with soul. Like
You know
you
them.
have your Rob, sure they're problematic, but you have your Robin Thicks, you have your Justin Timberlakes,
I
you
never
have
heard
your
of those people before.
I'm about to call the motherfucker Sam Adams, and I don't think
You're
that's his
funny as
name.
shit. Who?
Cause it did Stay With Me.
Sam Smith.
Sam Smith. Yeah, them. So yeah. So like there's white folks with soul. They that can sing with soul. But for some odd reason, that's just something they don't 100% take into account until somebody black that they want to replicate, if anything. You know, they try to replicate that, and that ends up appealing because it's what they want to see with what they want to hear, for real.
If I may, like when you mentioned just like blue-eyed soul and things of that nature, especially in the indie space, we have like a fuck ton of like
Yeah,
white folks who have done their homework and show honor and respect to like the melodies and such.
sure.
Hiatus Coyote, Moonchild,
Yeah,
St. Paul and the Broken Bones, Jarl Bernhoft, and things of that nature. But like we see that like artists like this, maybe like even like Sweet Crude, just like artists who are in black spaces but don't get in the way. You know what I mean? It's like
exactly.
you'll see them at like your jazz festivals. You'll see them at like Pitchfork or Coachella, but they're not very high up on the bill. It seems to me that the priority for like the industry at large are these singer songwriters, like your homies with like the suspenders, the big hats, and like their harmonica attachments and things of that nature. I feel it feels as though like they want their Bob Dylan back,
Yep,
but they won't go like the actual folk route because on 9 times out of 10 you'll run into your folks who are just like downright just like full on rebels, like your Willie Nelsons. You know what I mean? Just like folks who just like like who travel the country for a living, and it's like, yo, I've seen how people live, and like the world that we occupy. It's kind of like that challenge the ways of the world.
yeah.
They want the acoustic balladeer, but they don't want like the audiences to think about what they're listening to.
That's how you get those Republicans that somehow enjoy Rage Against the Machine.
I had to yesterday literally I had to what did I have to do? I saw a video in my I was updating a playlist I made for a friend, and one of like the recommended videos in my to my right was North Korean guitarist plays Killing in the Name, and I'm like, why would I ever want to fucking see that? And no disrespect to the artists themselves, but I'm just like, that association alone just gives me the ick, and I don't want to I don't want to give into like the rage bait or just like the I can't believe this. It was just like ignore or like remove this. I don't. Let's just like dispel that. Like the reason why you'll notice how like Tom Morello, who plays guitar in Rage, you can see
Oh
that
yeah,
mug everywhere.
king.
And but and
He a
you
king.
and good for him, because like him being places, spreading his message does something for what he's fighting for. But other people who challenge what he's about will note that like he has deep pockets.
You know what
Whereas
pisses me off?
okay, go on.
Folks that try to argue with Tom Morello like he don't got a degree in political science. that that blows my mind. Absolutely blows my fucking mind, bro. Like, how what type of hubris do you have to argue with a motherfucker that studied the shit he talking about? I'll never understand that. Like, it absolutely like flips my world upside down that because of social media, that you have folks that just think they know everything, and
They
it's
won't
gotten to the
verify a
point
single
where
source.
it's gotten to the point where they'll argue with actual scientists that are studying or have studied and have a like literal degree in degree courtesy of Harvard Law. Thank you, living abstraction. So, like, yeah, it, the highest degree of political science, Tom Morello is. Like, bro, you don't argue with that. Pretty much whatever he says, you have to take it as, with the gravitas that he know what the fuck he talking about. Why? Because he's had to take tests on the shit to make sure he know what the fuck he talking about. And y'all haven't done that.
And for what it's worth, like I said, like when Tom is out someplace protesting or playing protest songs, you gonna see him. Meanwhile, frontman of the band, Zach De La Roca, you won't really see dude unless you happen to bump into him. He's very in the cut, very low key. For us to even like hear him do shit that's not rage related, it's like, oh shit, you're still out here doing the thing. And I respect that very much. That it's just like, look, the work is more important than just like the music sometimes. And I feel like a lot of people should like pay attention to that particular notion that like, say when, I don't know, like we witness mass murder on a global scale, you have to say something. You can't just like keep shit to yourself. You have to say something. But I'm saving that for the end of our episode in regards to things that we actually hate, but things and not things that we say that we do just for the sake of a catchy video on YouTube. Shall
No,
I give the
I
people our
genuinely hate
lineup?
things. So,
Say again.
like, I said, no, I genuinely hate things. I genuinely enjoy
Oh, I
things.
do. I
I'm just
do.
a person that works on genuineness. Like, that's how I operate. I don't do things like for anyone's judgment or like for clout or anything like that. Like, if I do something, I do it because I actually want to do it or I actually enjoy it. Or if I actually have something to say about something, I'm extremely opinionated on it because I I feel
It's
it.
important to
Like,
you, right?
yeah, exactly. Like, I feel that shit. So, when people do things that are TikTok, things like that, they're all like just ways to become famous. And it's like, if I'm going to become famous, I want to become famous by being a genuine person, like Keith Lee.
Shout out, bro, Keith. Like, man, like aspirational. I'll say that much. Like, dude was nothing but his authentic self. He needed like if you and like for those who like if you're the type of motherfucker that says who the fuck does Keith Lee who think he is? You can look up, like, if you go to like Kev on Stage's account, like he talked to Keith Lee and he's like, tell me about you. And Keith Lee told him everything from like childhood to now. If you really want to like get to know who that man is as a person, he'll tell you.
However, if you need to know enough, Keith Lee, a motherfucker that'll beat your ass. Because he was an MMA fighter for Bellator at one point.
Put some respect on that man's name, bro. Like he's
you watch what you say about Keith Lee.
even if Lee wasn't like good with the hands, it's like he is surrounded by like a group of people who care for him and respect what he's doing. And like and we take care of our own.
You're a genuine person. You have people around you that genuinely care about you that will always go up the bat for you because they know you will go up the bat for them.
And like it's just like that's the way the boy was raised, bro. Like it's like, oh, like y'all new millennials ain't got no values and shit, bro. Like, cause you took them away from us.
Yeah, living abstraction. I saw your comment and I wrestle with that fact daily. That's why I haven't even started the new podcast yet.
It's just gonna come from in there. It is that fucking simple. But like, we just live in a world where things are kind of complicated. And you mentioned TikTok, and it's like I've been posting there every day this month, and like it's real work. And like next year, I won't be posting every day on the app, and I'm relieved. Like, oh, I want to post every fucking day. I'm building the catalog up, like 365 songs for 365 days. That's gonna turn into 12 months of hard work. Like, oh, because I went out and looked for cool shit, I can show you my hard work. Like, this is what I found. This is what how I've thought about those things since I heard them for the first time. Because I think you can separate TikTok into 3 categories. It's like the clout chasers, the people who are just like living their daily lives and want to share it with like others, and people who's like, oh, I need to like make something of myself. I'm making food. I'm making music. Like I'm educating. Like this is where you can find me easily. I honestly feel that because of what Mr. Elon has done to X, TikTok could be the new front page of the internet. It could be, but that's up to us.
Well, first
as far
and foremost,
I'm concerned,
I'm not calling that shit X. I'm
I
calling
don't know what
Twitter.
you're talking about.
They his parents named it Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. Goddamn it! All right. First and foremost. Second of all, I'm not going to let, and I'm going to be as politically correct as I possibly can when I say this too, because I'm not trying to catch fire over it. However, I also want to get my point across too. Right? I'm not going to let some rich douchebag that's on the spectrum ruin this hell of an app, because this app, since
I love Twitter. I really do.
2009, huh?
I love Twitter.
Since I joined this app in 2009, I have made like, I guess you could call them internet friendships, a genuine, and these are
genuine connections,
friendships. Like I genuinely rock with these people as much as they rock with me, and it's like we rock with each other for a long time. We build a rapport.
That's how the Bodega Boys were born, right?
Like we've all built an algorithm that pretty much set. That's how you got Black Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
1000%.
That's exactly how you got Black Twitter. Twitter wouldn't 100% be as popular as it is today if it wasn't for Black Twitter. And how do you think we got there? And you're ruining that.
Also, can I say something real quick? It's like when you build a quality product, the right ones are going to elevate it to the next level. And because Musk has like lived his life in public for so long, we can see just like your job history. Like correct me if I'm incorrect in the comments or whatever. Like dude has like connections to PayPal, and he wanted to call it X all those years ago. And like we're not doing that. You know what I mean? It's like if the products were quality, we'd still like, oh, you can go to this one because it'll do what you need it to do. But like it's quite clear that like Los.
Side note, the fuck's his obsession with the letter X? This dude's a weirdo, bro. Like, yeah,
I don't like that cat one
I hate
bit.
the fact that people like thinks he's such a genius because he
Nah, nah.
took he took somebody's idea. He literally
He colonizes
Edison,
ideas,
Tesla.
allegedly. Yes, stole the company, allegedly.
Like, how poetic can it possibly be that this motherfucker is not who you think he is? And it's like, yo, okay, so he's rich. All right. He
For
comes
the
from a
fuck
rich
what?
family, bro. Like, that's why he's rich. It's easy to get richer if you're rich to begin with. Are you serious? Like, it's so easy to get richer if you're rich to begin with. And then not only that, it leaves you a larger margin for error for fucking up any type of endeavors that you do have. What are y'all not getting? Like, what's not clicking here? Like, everybody is so ego driven on being the richest person ever, and it's like you'll never be goddamn Mansa Musa. So give it up. I just be kind and generous to everybody else, and let that
Rich in spirit.
be as rich in spirit as you are financially. Well, be rich financially as you are in spirit. And if you're a shitty person, you probably deserve to be broke. I don't know.
Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm a man of humble means, but I have a good life built for myself, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I think about the life I led as a young person, being raised by my parents in suburban America. And there were quite a few times when we got dangerously close to poverty, but like there's always like friends and family that had our backs. We had a good like village around us to make sure we got fed, had food on our stomachs and clothes on our back, and like a place to sleep every fucking night. And like that is not the reality that a lot of Americans have. And like if that doesn't fucking make you angry, what are we even talking about? I have nothing to discuss with you. It's like, oh, like it's like say given like and take like the big like topic of the day, which we're going to get to at the end of the show. People are like, I don't know enough. And like we had a conversation about this prior to October 7th on your porch about shit. And like I can guarantee you the thing that I speculated towards, like you've pretty much heard the same thing from actual citizens of that region. Have you not?
Exactly.
It is as simple. It's like it's not complicated. Like all the things that plague humanity are not complicated. There are a lot of layers. You know what I'm saying? Like the issues of the day, be as whatever the fuck they might be. They're complex, but they are not complicated. You can break that shit
Yeah.
down to a caveman. And so
Exactly.
when you receive the information like that's been verified by several sources, it's like, now what do you want to do? What does that? How does that make you feel? You know, and if you feel nothing, it's like, if you feel nothing, considering just like the trials and tribulations of humanity, if that makes you feel nothing, it's like you have some work to do on yourself. And like, I'm not gonna like berate you. I'm not gonna like scream in your ear because that's not gonna help you. But like, if you know you feel nothing for like the trials and tribulations of our species, of the planet, it's like you need to do some serious self-examination and get the fuck up and get up out my space. You know what I'm saying? Like leave in peace. And like I hope that if I see you later, you've learned a few things about yourself and the world around you. You know what I'm saying? And like I think it's that simple to me. Like we can't let's not go back and forth with one another unless we're gonna make some money. Some non-blood money. Okay.
Look, I live by the Red Dead Redemption 2 cheat code that unlocks a simple set of weapons. A simple life, a beautiful death.
Ooh!
You know what I'm saying?
Don DeMarco.
Side note, that game really shaped my my sense of morality in life. Like that is probably one of the best games Rockstar has ever made. And it's probably officially at this point my favorite non-annual game.
Wow.
Of all time. Like that game, the story is absolutely beautiful. It's rugged, it's hard, it's tough, but it's beautiful all at once. Like everything about Arthur Morgan is probably one of the most layered, multifaceted video game characters of all time.
I don't deny that.
Because he carries himself one way, but in reality, he's really a whole nother way. And he even like instructs the next main character for the first game, John, because he was he didn't know whether or not Jack was his kid or whatever, and left the game for a little bit until finally coming back. And Arthur was pretty much like, look, either you're going to be one person or the other. You can't do both. And that's advice he like. It's one of those advice you give the people that you should take yourself. And that's how like it was presented in the game and all that. Like everything about that game is like extremely nuanced and very poignant. And like I said, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. Definitely run through the story. If you don't have it, if you don't have any way to play it, fucking run through the story on YouTube.
1000%. There should be plenty of playthroughs.
Man, I'm running through it right now. I'm in chapter 4 because I bought it again for PS5.
Wow.
Like yeah, I had it on
That's
Xbox
love.
One, and then I had beaten the game. I had beaten the story like a good 2, 3, 4 times on Xbox One, but then I switched over to PS5, and I was like, nah, I love this game that much, and I actually bought the deluxe edition over again. And I'm running through the story again. And I'm like, regaining my achievements and stuff. I love that game.
I'm hoping to like upgrade my my setup in the next couple of years because like I can't fade that $500 right now. But like I'm sure in a couple of years, like it'll like be a reasonable price, and I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna see what all the hype is about, and I'm gonna be on your phone like, yo, oh my god, and all that.
Well, they've already started dropping in price because they've brought out a slim version now. And then the slim version is the regular price. And then the regular Jones, they're about to drop, 100, so on and so forth. So by Christmas time, PS5 should probably be around $299. Maybe.
We'll see.
So that's just how it's cycling right now, because now it's like, remember when it first came out, everybody was copping it, so they were running out quickly. Yeah. Well, now it's like, now we got too many of them.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah. So, like, start looking for the pricing to drop around holiday season for your regular non-disc drive PS5.
I go lie, fam. I gotta have that drive, bro. I'm very much an all or nothing kind of person. If it's for me, it's kind of like when you're watching a film that was made not in America, and like people are like, man, I'm watching the sales, I want the dub. I'm like, no, fam, I want to see the art as like it was meant to be taken in. Yeah. And if I don't like it, okay, it ain't for me. But like I want to like give me the whole hog. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you this. Because this is a completely like similar type of concept and an experience. Do you collect vinyls?
I kind of feel like they're apples to oranges, because I have a few and I plan to collect more, because in regards to music, in regards to like spending money on music, especially in an era when CEOs are paying artists even less than like the less than pennies they're getting, I feel as though I want to move backwards to I want to have physical media that shows that I care about this creator and like the music that they're making. Because like I do feel like when you have vinyl, unless like your setup is like super good as far as like a record player and shit is concerned, I ain't never taking it out the sleeve. It's just to say that I have it, and like this album means a lot to me. Like now that I heard it, I'm gonna spend my money on it. I'm gonna spend like the $30 to $50 that it costs for it to get made, because like care goes into that shit being made.
Yeah. Well, I only asked that because having a PS5 hard drive would be like having a vinyl player, as opposed to the one without the hard drive being like how you consume music today.
One
In the
thousand
sense
percent. If I was on the
of,
go, I'd understand you having a slim, but like I want this for my home. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
no. The slim is just a smaller it's just like a skinnier version of it. It's the same thing but skinnier. That's it. But the hard drive version, if you like actually buying the physical copies of the video games, people still do that. Then yeah, the hard drive version is for you. However, if you're just going to be on you know PlayStation Store and you see something and you got the money to buy it and you can just download the junk, then yeah, the regular jump without the hard drive will be your best bet. So it all depends on, to me, it all depends on how you game, how you collect your gaming.
All I'll say is this: it's like in an era where like TV shows and films can disappear from streaming services. I was on TikTok because I made my daily post, and there's this one Palestinian song I've been hearing all over my feed, and I'm like, I want to figure out who the artist is. I want to figure out what song this is so I can just like take it in on my own and not just from like some quick edit somebody threw together. And I found the artist. I Google it. I'm like, where can I find like dude's music? And they took that song down in May, just on like the speculation that like da 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 racism, and I'm like, oh wow, like they really can just like do that shit, especially when like you're an international artist. But like I kept scrolling, they put the
Mm-hmm.
song back, and I'm like, man, it's like this is why folk should really buy the shit that they enjoy and care for, because one day it may be gone forever.
Yep. And that's what we're witnessing with the death, not death, but I guess you could say the like burial of that piff.
Rest in
All
peace,
of
that
that
piff, bro. All
music,
those tapes.
all Lil Wayne. If you don't to put it to you like this, I was listening to Jenkins and Jones, um
Dragonfly.
and they were discussing around the time of uh uh what's his name, dude from De La Soul.
Oh, rest in peace, bro. I'm gonna get like the actual name. I bet you Living Extraction will get it before I get it.
But it was around the time he passed away, and
Really?
De La Soul had just put their entire catalog out on streaming services,
Yeah.
and they were discussing the significance of that. And Dragonfly Jones, Tyler, who is usually the most he's really good at taking complex things and simplifying them.
Yeah.
So like he said that the reason why this is such a big deal, there it goes, True Goy. Yeah. So yeah, he was
It's a
saying the
big deal
reason
because
why this was such a big deal is because a lot of hip hop, um back in the day. And he talked about the essential progression of hip hop back in the day and how it was mostly, just dance party stuff at first, but then you got to the gang culture and such and such. And that's essentially what the identity became. Um, but then there was a certain point where you got kids that were from different backgrounds because none of them were rapping about street stuff because of the stuff that they come from. Like you can only rap about your experience, and what these rappers were experiencing, that's what would come out in the music. And yeah, it's going to be violent, yeah, it's going to be street stuff. But then you start having um rappers come from different backgrounds that aren't from the street and giving you a different perspective of life in general, things like that. And De La Soul along with Souls of Mischief and groups like that. They gave you a different perspective of Black culture in general. And so when the streaming era came along, it became a bit of an issue for the simple fact that people aren't going to 100% buy physical copies anymore. So the money isn't going to 100% go to the artists. And B, a lot of these artists don't want their music on these streaming services because these streaming services take a large cut of the profit. And so that's when you got to a point where it's like, all right, you got to start collecting your music now, because what, like you said, what may be up today may not be up tomorrow. And so Tyler was explaining that, and he gave a perfect example. Yeah, he gave a perfect example. He goes, put it to you like this: Lil Wayne's Squad series, the Squad Up series, is essentially the turning point in Lil Wayne's career. In a sense of, this was the time period where Lil Wayne had time period, had like time periods and eras, right? You had
Yeah.
your Hot Boys Lil Wayne, and this is just the run of the litter. And that era runs through The Block Is Hot, through Lights Out, through 500 Degrees, right?
Yeah.
However, the Squad series is was the era that was the beginning of the Carter period. And the Carter period is probably one of the most important runs in hip hop history.
Yeah.
This was the rippling effect. That series, the Squad series, was the rippling effect of that. And then after, amid the Carter series, you get one of the most important runs in hip hop history, in my personal opinion, for the simple fact that Lil Wayne was in an influx state, was in a 2 summer influx state between the Carter 2 and the Carter 3. And in that period of time, he put out what might have been his best work ever. And they were unreleased music. uh, Burn This City. Um, I Feel Like Dying. Um, I Know the Future. If you remember that one BET Awards performance, Gossip. These were all supposed to be on the Carter 3. But then they leaked. And instead of like being upset about it, he went on and embraced the leakage. And so he went on and released everything else that he had planned or projected to be on the Carter 3, and then proceeded to work on redo Carter 3 completely under wraps. And that's the one we got today. There is 2 different versions of Lala, and the version that's on the Carter 3 is completely different from the version that was unreleased. Things like that. And so Tyler was saying that once, oh no, this wasn't when the De La Soul collection came down. This is when the death of Dad Piff came about. And he was saying that once you realize that, these streaming services can, just stop, you know, posting or like take down the posts and the music and stuff, you started to realize, hey, I got to start collecting these physically. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he was saying that hit that entire squad series, and that this is his point. He's like, my point in saying this is that entire squad series I have in a like book or whatever. So that, and anytime I change software or anything like that, I can always just download, burn it onto whatever computer or whatever new computer I got. That way I still got it. And if, the discs do start to become obsolete, because discs have shelf life. We don't 100% realize that. But, once the discs run out of shelf life, you can still be able to find ways to re-download it and have it forever.
All I want to say is that because I was curious, I googled it real quick, and if you go to .piff.com, because like the site basically shut down in 2020, they want to rebrand apparently, like they're trying to work on the next iteration of the site. And if you go to archive.com, you can find like their library, but like much like a lot of the old heads will preach, digging through crates is like crucial to your enjoyment of really good music. Like if you're an asshole who says music in 2023 is bad, you aren't trying hard enough to find good things to listen to. Hell, the internet's busiest music nerd, Anthony Fantano, declared like maybe almost half a year ago, this year, they're like, oh, 2023 is kind of mid. And then this week said, I apologize, I was fucking wrong, because more good shit that I wasn't expecting came out of nowhere. And then backed it up with like, here's like almost like 5 releases that y'all should consider if you also think that the year is mid. And say if like Fantano was right and this year sucked for music releases and such, go back 10 years.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like cover your eyes and pick a genre. You're going to change your life.
To put it in perspective, right? We are the children of the blog era.
Yep.
And the reason why we in our 30s are the children of the blog era is because we were being exposed. Like, there's a certain age where you're like really starting to pay attention to the music that you listen to.
I would say 9th grade, 8th grade is like, I'd say like maybe like 6th grade is where like it starts, because that's what
middle
started for
school,
me.
high school, exactly. And the blog era began when we were in middle school. The blog era began around
I found it late. I'm not gonna lie, I found it late.
2006. 2004, 2005. So you were still in middle school. I was just starting high school when the blog era kicked off.
Damn.
I was a junior when the blog era was in full boom. I was just dropping out of college when the blog era came to a close. And the blog era came to a close because the Migos.
Versace hit the stages.
I don't say that negatively either, because Migos
was
an explosion. Exactly. Migos are essentially the pioneers of today's rap. I can't say modern.
May I stop you real quick though? Because with like the success of Migos, all like those really hot singles and such, Culture 1 comes out, but Culture 2 stunk up. It stunk. And like the fact of the matter is, it was like, okay, they're like, we need to flood the market. Culture 2 is huge. And aside from maybe like one really good song on that album, it's not a good release. Like Culture 2 should have been like the death knell for like just like bloating your releases just so you can like make a lot of money via streaming. And like, and I'm not, and I don't say it to be like disrespectful, but like the proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? Like after Culture 2, like the Migos stopped putting out good releases.
Essentially.
And
make of that what you will.
Make of that what you will.
Like Grand Slammy. I'm drawing a blank right now. There are probably, more after that, but yeah, no, like that was their like pinnacle right there. That was their apex. That was their summit. However, the thing is that how their structure of rap is now the blueprint of today's mainstream. And that's not their fault. They
It's
just
not.
introduced us to something new. You know what I'm
It's the
saying?
executive's fault.
Exactly. And once we're introduced to something new, we're not introduced to anything else new for a long period of time. And that's why we're getting to a point where people are feeling like hip hop is dead. And it's like hip hop isn't dead.
It's running out of gas, that's for sure.
Yeah,
At the top, that
hip hop
is.
is in a retirement home right now. And it shouldn't be in a retirement home because hip hop is one of those old people that are still active. Like, I
50
mean,
fucking years
extremely
old.
active. Like, one of those old people that still got the personality of a 30-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what hip hop is. Like, and you have these kids that are coming in and they're like, well, that shit is trash. This is hip hop. And it's like, no, it's not. Because y'all think hip hop is trash. So y'all are coming up with something and calling it hip hop. And that's not how this works.
Hold
You
on.
don't do that. You can't do that.
Hold
This
on. I feel
so like it's like
I
but yeah, so you got Migos, they introduced a new style, and now it's like you're either doing that or you're true to the roots of hip hop and you're actually spitting that shit. And if you're spitting that shit, 9 times out of 10, you're probably of underground exposure. Yeah, you're independent.
Earl,
Yeah, exactly. Earl, you're Griselda.
Damo,
You
Billy
know what I'm saying?
Woods.
Like those are the type of people that should be in the mainstream. However, these executives, these people that actually run these record companies, they see something hot and they want to run that shit to the ground because they don't have the creative mind to think of something new.
I want to say something.
Hmm?
So like, there's a podcast that I'm fond of. I don't listen to it as much these days, but it's called One Life, One Chance. Hosted by Toby Morse from H2O. He was like he was in like the New York scene. He moved out to
All
he
right.
moved out to LA, and he had this cat on the show, Justin Warfield, who is one half of She Wants Revenge, and they spoke for 4 hours. I'm like, wow, let's see what's going on here. And Justin was like, I was a young kid and my dad was in the record industry. And he just brought me around to like witness stuff. Like, he's like, oh, you want to be in a music video? Yeah. And like, went to the shoot, met Ice-T. And it's like,
Neat.
yeah, man, I rap. And he's like, oh, word? And it's just like, he's a kid's like, I want to rap too. And just took chances and made stuff. And like made music, went to New York, went to the UK, was just like in these spaces where people were making shit. And he was a DJ, met another DJ, and it's like, we should work on stuff together. And like, they played what they made at shows, and it's like, yo, the fuck is this? It's like, oh, like, it's something we're just like working on and shit. And it got to a point where what they're working on reached the hands of Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit. And it also like hit the hands of one Steve Aoki. And Steve was like, I want to sign you. I have this band I'm about to put out called Block Party. We're gonna fuck the game up. Let me know what's going on. Fred's like, I'm trying to sign you. Come to the crib. And like, they go to his house, he's playing the music, and Justin pulls him to the side. He's like, listen, my man's really stoked, but I gotta know like you're for real about the kind of music I want to make. And they had a real like sit down conversation. Like, I understand what you're trying to do. I'm like, you can decide what I want to put it out, but like, it's up to you. I just want like last call when the album is done. They make the album. He comes in, he says, take this out and it's perfect. I promise. And they fought. He's like, listen, take this shit out. It's going to sell like gangbusters. Fred was right. And we make fun of Fred, but he cares about what the fuck he's doing. He be
Yeah.
trolling y'all, and it worked. But like, he cares about the music. He cares, and like, and remember, he was an exec, and like,
Yeah.
maybe like, and you know, like, to like people who were like DIYers, like, ugh, Fred Durst. But it's like one of my favorite new school bands, Wargasm, put a song out with Fred, and the shit goes hard because like he cares. Like he took out one of my favorite hardcore bands, Scowl, on the road, and they interviewed like their singer Kat, like, oh, what was it like touring with Limp Bizkit? And she was like, bro, it was the best we've ever eaten on the road in our entire careers. Because, you know, in like this hardcore world, in like this rock and roll world, you're not eating well. You're not taking care of yourself. You don't have a place to like sleep and shower and shit. And it's like, oh, like they treated us with respect. Like we played, like they played MSG with Limp Bizkit. And they're like, I thought we never played here in our entire fucking careers. But like, here we are opening for one of the big like new metal bands, and it's like they wanted us, like they like, oh, we want y'all, we want somebody else from your scene, and we're gonna go fuck some shit up. Come on, like, what you go pick up your bag, let's go play some shows. And it's like if you
That's what it
like
should
if
be
you
about.
care, like people will come to find you. And if people are on bullshit, all you gotta do is be like, we got approached by this person. What's the tea? You know what I mean? It's like it doesn't have like I feel like what hip hop fails to realize is that we have to take care of one another. Like I feel like shit when shit was really like starting to get when shit was starting to bubble in the 80s, everybody knew who each other was. We all knew one another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nowadays there's and like because of like white supremacy, because of capitalism and all that bullshit, like there's a lot of like resentment and disrespect. And I'm very much a person like I'm gonna respect you if you respect me type shit, and especially if you're an old head in the black community. I'm not gonna treat you. I ain't gonna like show you like we were saying off the camera. It's like I'm not gonna like treat you like my uncle because you're an old head and you're from my community, bro. Like if I feel that air of just like, oh, this is a man who respects me and respects himself and his community. Oh, I'm trying to lock arms with you. I'm trying to see what you're all about. You know what I mean?
It's all about the energy you give.
Yeah, and so like and because we've been talking for like an hour and 15 minutes. We haven't talked about any
have
songs,
yet
but
to
like,
get to the fucking.
But like, I picked the ones that and like because the show's about indie, right? And like, it's really fucking hard to delineate a vast galaxy of a genre of 4 fucking songs. But here's what I picked before you get to the track list. It's like when you think indie, you think like white dudes who aren't from America with accents and nice suits. You think indie-tronica, you know, like because like you know a good deal of like independent music are these DJs spinning, these producers. You know what I mean? Like shit that's like pop, but not really. You know what I mean? Like shit that's more than like 2 to 3 minutes of just like 4 on the floor dance grooves. You also have just like because like one of our songs is a big sample that like I'm gonna pull it up right now. Fuck it. I'm gonna give us the track list because we were like the way I see it, we'll be here for like another hour and a half, and I want to get like the ball rolling.
Yeah, man. I started this episode at 86% battery with the battery saver on and all my apps swiped out.
Yeah.
I am now down to 37%.
We gotta rush. I'm scrolling down right now. Here we go.
But we're gonna make it work though. I don't
we're gonna get through this one way or the other. Our track list today for Haystack Hates Indie includes, but is not limited to, Cigarettes in the Theater by Two Door Cinema Club, Heaven's on Fire by the Radio Department, The Bay by Metronomy, and Losing You by Solange Knowles. Living Abstraction, I know you're fucking excited because he loves this goddamn song, and and if you've ever heard it, you understand why. Let's start at the top.
So.
Yeah, bro. Like,
that's just a talented family, man. Like, I'm sorry, I can't like. I'm not like a super fan. I'm not a Beehive member or anything like that. But goddamn it, you gotta give credit where credit is due. Beyonce's talented. Solange is talented. Tina is talented as well. Like, that's just a talented ass family. Then Beyonce married a talented man who is also a business mogul. They're having talented children. Like, what do you want me to say?
Well, I want you to say a lot of things. Let's start at the top with Two Door Cinema Club, Cigarettes in the Theater.
Where are my notes?
Oh my God.
Oh my God, indeed. Like, what the fuck? Oh, no, wait. I got it. Here we go.
For those who may not know, the song we chose is the opening track from their debut album, Tourist History. It came out 13 years ago from French independent label, Kitsune Music. They're a trio from North Ireland.
All right. So, I says, like, off the first, like, 30 seconds of the song, I was like, this sounds like a song I've heard before, but like a remix. Like, you ever get that feeling from certain songs from certain artists? Like, I feel like I've heard this before, but I haven't heard this before.
That's interesting that you say that. Okay.
But it feels like a remix. With that being said, I also said this should have been on Guitar Hero.
You really think so?
Fuck yeah. This is I like a good I like a nice guitar noted song, a well noted guitar song, I said that synth guitar really brings the chorus sections out. Kind of like how Machine Gun Funk needs that Parliament sample for that hook, otherwise it just feels anticlimactic. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, you ever listen to Machine Gun Funk without that Parliament sample?
I have not.
Don't. Cause literally that is what sets that fucking chorus off. Otherwise, it's just I live for the funk. I die for the funk. It's like, all right, man. Like, all right. Yeah, I hear you. But however, 7 out of 10 overall. I
Nice.
said this sounds like some Arcade Fire Arctic Monkeys kind of stuff. I gotta get back into their stuff too, as a matter of fact.
Well, since you brought it up, I'll go ahead and tell you. Like, I highly encourage you to get into Arctic Monkeys. They have a lot of good music, and they're still together to this day. Arcade Fire got canceled.
For what?
Their frontman did a
Huh?
no-no.
What?
Their frontman committed SA.
Oh man. You can't be committing essays, bro.
I'll also say for like legal purposes, allegedly, but let me tell you this: like, Homeboy got called out. They didn't stop the tour, didn't make no statement, just kept it pushing. But their opening act was like, I know I don't like go on tour these days very often, but I'm no longer gonna like participate because like this like for the band to take the actions that they've taken is like an affront to what I do as an artist. So I'm leaving. And I'm like, if you felt so compelled, like I know that like I should like I know where I stand as far as I'm concerned. But what I will also say in lieu of that, you mentioned prominent indie acts, and this album was produced by a member of Phoenix, who's like another like huge like indie act that like exploded around like this early 2010s era of just like I guess like Brit pop part 2 type sound. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah, like they're like Two Door is still together to this day. It's still the same three homies, and like they really space out their releases, like 2 to 3 years at a time. They put out new songs. I saw them play like around 2012 because a friend was like, "Yo, I really want to go see them play in DC," and I'm like, "All right, let's go." And when we went, we were first in line, and like I realized once we got to the venue, I left my ticket at my house. But like the venue staff is like, "Your friend is safe here." And like we're gonna get you some guest stage passes because you were first in line. Like
Nice.
my homegirl like got pictures with the band. It was a whole like it was a whale of a tale. I'll tell you like some other time. But like
Whale of a
they
tale.
they can go. You know what I mean? They take their craft very seriously. And like another song from this album, "What You Know," did a lot of like have some serious like alt radio play, but not mainstream. They did like the late night circuit, but like
Yeah.
I don't think it really like unless like it's this. I guess like what they do is kind of like for like the pop nerds. You know what I mean? But still just like off the beaten path. Like we haven't had like a band from that area do so well then since like maybe like the Cranberries or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My thing
So
is, and I a quick comment on radio airplay. I would have killed to have heard a Mac Miller song other than Donald Trump on the radio.
I never when that song was like doing numbers, I never heard it, and like that fucking sucks because he gave us so much. Like the John he did with Anderson .Paak would have been gangbusters.
Oh, dang, was on the radio for a little bit.
For a little bit, should have been on repeat. Should have been on repeat.
But there were so many other Mac Miller songs that he dropped as singles that should have been on radios like heavy. And the thing is like the hip hop community like loved Mac Miller. Nobody had a problem with Mac. Everyone loved that dude. He was like a mascot of sorts. But
here's what I'll say.
He was really good at rapping.
I think my speculation for Mac not being on the airwaves is that it probably wasn't a priority for him, if I could speculate. Because I remember at one point he was signed to Warner Brothers, and I'm like, Linkin Park were on Warner Brothers, and they stayed on the radio. So like,
that's fair.
Again, execs don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, y'all, stay the fuck away from these labels. Here, let's move on to song number 2, which includes a quote from a 1991 documentary focusing on a joint tour of Sonic Youth and Nirvana.
So that's what was going on there.
Yeah, so like the dude's like, people see rock and roll as youth culture, and when youth culture becomes monopolized by big business, what are the youth to do? Do you have any idea?
That sounded familiar.
And so like Thurston Moore from Sonic Youth says, we should destroy the bogus capitalist process that destroys youth culture. And so, and you know, given just like where grunge went and where Sonic Youth went, as far as just like the more like pretentious hipstery like path that took Sonic Youth where, because like there's a reason why you know Nirvana and you don't know Sonic Youth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can blame it on like the big Gazette saying, yo, like this Nirvana shit is going to sell like hotcakes. I don't know about the rest of them motherfuckers. So what do you think about and fun fact, this song I heard because of that friend who took me to that Two Door Cinema Club show. I just like texted her like, yo, how have you been? She's like, oh, I've been fine. Here's like top 100 from Spotify. I'm like, oh shit, I'll put it on. And I heard the song and I'm like, damn, I never heard some shit like this in a long time. This is really fucking cool. And so I'll play it every so often.
I'm about to piss you off.
Oh, fuck! No!
Well, I start off by saying, oh, well, what the mid-90s baseball movie drive home montage scene is going on here?
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they're going home from a day of practice and like they're driving through the countryside in a fucking old ass Ford truck. That's the background music for that. I go, the lyrics may correlate to the excerpt in the beginning, and if so, this tune completely negates it. The lyrics may be about something else, and then I looked up the lyrics. I go, oh, what douchebaggery of metaphoric usage. And I said, with a name like Johan Duncanson, I just imagine he looks like Andy from The Office and John Mayer had a baby. Just big herb pseudo-philosopher energy. I go, fucking 2 out of 10. This song embodies the title of this show exactly.
Man, give it a 2.
I go, did you do this on purpose, Duck? Was the high ratings getting too good for you? It only got 2 because I imagined Keanu Reeves driving that beat-up Bronco back to his boathouse in The Replacements. Then I thought of the kicker and said, ole, 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 ole. Hey, cheers, bitch. And then proceeded to go watch that movie. So thanks for that, I guess.
You're welcome. Damn.
This all made me think of The Replacements, so I wouldn't watch The Replacements. That's...
Man, maybe I should have put the Replacements on this playlist. Where we got with a better fucking result. Damn.
He said no mercy. Yeah, that's right.
Don't hurt him. He's already dead.
Sometimes you gotta stand on business. This is
I ain't mad. I ain't mad. Let's move on before I get any more fucking embarrassed. Track number 3 is The Bay by Metronami. I knew I had to put a twinge of just like indie tronica a little bit of this, like, you know, like the quirky funk into the mix. What did you think of The Bay?
Yeah. I said this song just teleported me to the 80s, and I'm managing a cocaine deal gone left. I got
Yo!
multi-shade aviators on with a white suit on and everything.
Not Hotline Miami. God damn.
I said the part between the chorus and the verse just took me to a club, and now I'm doing two-step dance moves at the time in front of a chick that looks like Whitney Houston. She fine as hell with this crop hairstyle. Shit.
Not you crafting imaginary baddies to this John, bro.
I was like, God damn, this bridge took me to a car chase. I found the guy that took my 92 bricks. No way I fall back like Jay-Z.
Hold up, I'm a bricks.
End of the song tells me that I got bricks back. I got my bricks back, and I'm standing victorious. Like, yeah. Yeah, man. 8 out of 10. That song took me on a ride, Bubba. It really felt like an 80s song, but it was on the. It was, but it sound like it really felt like an 80s song that was on in the club scene in Scarface. There it is.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's that dope shit. For real.
Hey man, say hello to my little friend, bro.
Goddamn right.
Now we're breezing through. Let's get it. All right. Grand fucking finale. I know my boy Living Abstracted is geeked for this. Written by Dev Hines, aka Blood Orange. Solange with Losing You. This shit came out 11 years ago.
Bro, I didn't even play around with this one. I said, finally, someone I know and know well. We're scaling this differently. We're starting the scale at 10, boys. I go, this is crazy. This sounds like one of those 80s romance movies.
It's true.
This sounds like one of those 80s romance movies missing them montages for a Nollywood movie while dancing in front of a clothing hut with an old lady just sitting on a lawn chair nearby, just watching. What is going on here?
Video was great. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I need those Solange fits for myself. I ain't gonna front.
I was so perplexed. I go, this video's throwing me off, sure, but I'm in there grooving, and not just any kind of grooving. I'm jumping on the bed using the remote as a microphone, singing while doing the WAP. It's a hell of a time. And no, the scale never dropped, boys. 10 out of 10, and it may have been a layup because I love that family's music. Hers, her iconic songstress of a sister, her greatest rapper, living brother-in-law, whom I imagine is absolutely terrified of her to this day. They put significant numbers on the boards.
I'll take it. The honor.
That last part I snuck in. If you know, you know.
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
The elevator. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
I get you. Yeah, neither do I.
As the ISIS spices like to say, "Gra." You know what I mean? It's just like
for true.
For those who like stuck around for that hour just like meandering, we appreciate you. Like we have there's a lot on our minds, and like this is like we were talking off cam, like, man, like this is episode 8, but we still have so much to like possibly discuss and do. And like since in our absence, the big like platforms of our day, like Billboard, have like made Rolling Stone even. I made declarations on like this is the good shit. And we take a peek at what they've like created, and we're like, is it though? For real?
It is not, in fact, that good shit.
And if like if anything's like if we said anything at all, like we discussed how like the number one genre in the world is losing steam. And so for those who may not like be as concerned for the health of this culture that we are, like episode 9 and 10 of Haystack Hates Your Music will be focused on just like the production side of hip hop and just like what the homeboys have declared to be the best shit, how we feel it meshes up against our own taste, and like where it meets in the middle. hopefully hopefully next month, best case scenario, inshallah, like God willing, like we'll see where it goes when it comes out. It just was we appreciate y'all for like hanging out with us. This is a new idea that's been like floating in my head for a while. And I'm so glad that like good old Los is like agreed to come along for the ride and giving me just like the reactions that I've been craving from my own friends who don't have the time to like just like unpack with me and things of that nature. We're definitely gonna do 4 new genres, hopefully in early 2024.
Real quick,
Yes, Los.
to expound on what you were saying about the billboards, right? To put it in perspective, I'm gonna give you the top 25 of the year ending for 2000. All right.
Go ahead.
Number 1 was Breathe by Faith Hill. 2 was
right.
Smooth by Santana and Rob Thomas.
Dreaded meme.
Yeah, all right. Because 3 was Maria Maria. That's right. Santana was 1-2 punch in the top 5. God damn it. I Want to Know by Joe was 4. Everything You Want by Vertical Horizon. I don't even remember that song.
I know that band, but for a different song.
Right. Say My Name by Destiny's Child. I Knew I Loved You by Savage Garden.
Wow.
Amazed by Lone Star. Bent by Matchbox 20. He Wasn't Man Enough by Tony Braxton, boy.
That fucking song. Woof.
Man, I love that song. He wasn't man enough for me. Higher
It's
by
cold,
Creed.
that's all. Oh yeah, let's go, baby.
Try Again by Aaliyah.
Rest in peace to the GOAT.
Jumpin' by Destiny's Child was 13.
That shit's hard. That song's hard as fuck.
Buddy. The thong song was 14, boys.
I love that goddamn fucking song. I'll credit nobody says.
Man, I'm surprised it was this high. But Kryptonite by Three Doors Down was 15.
Get that shit out of here.
There You Go by Pink was 16. Music by Madonna was 17.
Actually, kind of high. I ain't gonna lie.
I like music. Music wasn't bad. Everywhere I go. Wasn't that Joan in the Austin Powers theme song? Fucking
I don't know. Don't quote me on that.
No, that was Beautiful Stranger. Never mind. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Doesn't Really Matter by Janet Jackson. I love that song. No, I'm thinking of Lauryn Hill and D'Angelo. Doesn't Really Matter.
Oh, that shit's hard. Yeah. Perfect song.
What a Girl Wants by Christina Aguilera. Woof.
First time in that song. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Back at One by Brian McKnight.
Fuck that nigga.
Yeah. But also a song.
That song. I guess.
Bye 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 by NSYNC.
Heat.
You Sang to Me and I Need to Know is 22nd and 23rd by Mark Anthony.
I Need to Know is hard.
Get It On Tonight by Montel Jordan. And Incomplete by Cisco rounds out at 25. Buddy, if I went to 30, we would have gotten the likes of It's Gonna Be Me, I Try, That's the Way It Is by Celine Dion, Country Grammar, and Bring It On to Me by Black. Bro.
They still play that shit in my job to this day, and like I want to rip my ears off.
Bring It On to Me by Black?
No, dog, not that song, but all the big like white people joints.
I'm about to say, because Bring It On to Me by Black, I play from time to time, personally. I love
Can't
that
talk shit
song.
about Black. I ain't gonna do that.
Do not like.
We ain't talking about Six Lack, by the way, y'all. No shade, no disrespect.
With that being said, they don't make music like that anymore, bro. They just don't, dog.
I do not. I disagree. They do still make that like adult contemporary bullshit. They do.
I'll put it to you like this, right? Country Grammar. Okay?
A song.
A song. That song was appealing to everyone.
It was.
Black Water solid. Rest in peace, Notori too. Yeah, solid song. Everyone universally loved it. You won't believe what it's about. Country Grammar is about drive-bys. We're going down, down, baby. No street in the range. Going street sweeper, baby. Cock ready to let it go. It's right there. It's right there. But no one really realized it until later. When you're playing it back in like a nostalgic, moment, or whether you're watching an award show that he's performing it on, or you just, on a whim playing it.
Ain't no way
And
no
then
one's
it
looking at the
hits
lyrics
you.
of that song. No way.
And then it hits you. And that's what I mean by they don't make it like that anymore. It's
Fair
very in
enough.
your face about it. Like, even put it to you like this, right? Griselda, and that's today's artist, but they bring the energy of yesterday's artist, and it works because it's using the artistry of hip hop. You got Conway the Machine, who is an absolute wordsmith. Like he is really.
Hold on. Just 1 second. I feel like the reason why a trio of true strength like Griselda is not going to get over because it's like I feel like that specific sound, it's like it is explicitly a backpacker sound. And like because like I feel that like again, like the champ like the keepers of the faith are Ebros, are Angies and such, like didn't make a point to like incorporate their specific style into like their daily rotations. I don't give a fuck if iHeartRadio's like keep that backpacker shit off the airwaves. As a keeper of the faith of the culture and preserving like its wordsmiths, you have a debt to like see that a group like Griselda at their big age is like treated with the respect that they deserve. I remember when one of the homies in Griselda was going to release something via Shady Records. Where the fuck happened to that? Unless you're a fan sincerely concerned on the trajectory of like homie's work, you don't hear a fucking lick about that. We don't really know anybody on Shady for
To my
that fucking
understanding,
matter.
Shady Records dropped the ball on that one. But
and everybody and like for those who know and the people who care know this, but like I feel like it's almost impossible to like drop somebody in the pond of Griselda and say swim nigga. Like you have to really just like care for that specific like people barring the fuck up. Like I name dropped Earl early in our stream, but like the way that like man's work kind of like evolved and changed when like he became like on his grown man shit. Like you have to be into that kind of like free flowing, just like deeply poetic type of shit, like for Mike and things of and like other rappers like him. Like
yeah, people may not, it may not be people's cup of tea with Earl Sweatshirt case for the simple fact that sometimes he doesn't necessarily flow within the confines.
He's
of
not
the piece
traditional
that he's
in any way,
rapping.
shape, or form.
And it's like that's why I respect him, because he can do that and it actually works. There aren't a lot of artists that can do that and it actually works. But with Griselda, it may sound like it may sound backpacker, but the content is duffel bag to begin with.
Can
And
anybody
it's
tell
like,
that I'm stressed?
and it's like not only that, not only the big three in Conway, Benny, and West, but they're, subsidiaries and affiliates as well. You have BSF for with Benny's group or whatever. You have Drum Work for Conway, and that's his subsidiary group of rappers, and they all rip. He be featuring them all up and down his albums, and they come correct every feature. Then you just have your affiliates in Rome Streets, who is a lyricist in every sense of the word. And you have Boldy James, who is a rapper in every sense of the word and doesn't waste a bar. And so you have everybody, every, and then with Conway, he is a real set him up, knock him down rapper. Like he'll set the bars up, and he'll knock him down with the punchline every 2 bars he gets. And you have Benny, who is your entertainer,
Hey, yo.
where he can tell you the story. He could, paint a picture vividly, but also he sounds like a bit of an asshole about it, or like a wise guy, like a mob boss wise guy about it. Like he raps like you've listened to this type of shit all your life. You should know what this shit about. You know what I'm saying? So when I come on the mic, what this shit is. You know what I'm saying? And then Westside Gun, he is the mastermind of it all. He doesn't always rap his A game, but when he does, it's extremely formidable with everyone else in that group. So the with them all in general, right? You got to understand that is the type of that's the type of music that popularized this genre to begin with. You understand? Yeah, I realize hip hop's golden era is called its golden era because that's when it was popularized. Like, or excuse me, not golden era, because the golden era were your Rakims, your Big Daddy Kane's, your well, I guess you can count MF Doom into that in theory.
1000%.
So
KMDs.
yeah, so that your Eric Sermons, though that was the golden era. The era directly afterwards, the era that gave us your Wu-Tang Clans, your Tupacs, your Biggies, your again, your Souls of Mischiefs, your De La Souls, your goddamn your Jungle Records, your Ruckus Records. Yeah, like this was the era where hip hop actually started turning heads outside of the black and brown communities. And people started to look at it and go, it's just a fad. And if they were saying, it's just a fad, they were all in on it immediately because it was some shit that they never heard before and it blew their minds. And how did it blow their minds? The poetry factor. Like, lyricism is king in my opinion, because without lyrics, like you're just playing an instrumental. So if you're gonna say something on a beat, fucking say something. You know what I mean? So that's the art that popularized hip hop, and then we over the last 20 years or so expounded on it. We gave you different avenues. We gave you different subgenres and things like that. We gave you the blog era. And that's why it's a bit of a slap in the face, because this was the mainstream at first. And now it's the underground. You gotta understand, it was both the mainstream and the underground because that's what hip hop was at the time. but now it's separated into something completely commercial. And I guess you could blame the crunk era for that, but you also can't blame the crunk era for that because they did it correctly. Like, yeah, was it
Everyone got
commercial?
put on with the crunk era. Everyone got put on.
Exactly. Yeah, was it commercial? Absolutely. It was extremely commercial. But it was dope shit too, because not only was it dope beats, but it was a whole bunch of motherfuckers saying some dope shit on dope beats. And that's what people don't understand. That's what people completely forget. People say that crunk music was the first iteration of mumble rap, and it's like you couldn't be any wronger. It's like
And I
it
want to
was
say,
Lil John
I want
doing
to
the
say,
whole call and response shit, yeah. But then Lil Scrappy came in and blew the fucking track up. So yeah,
I,
no,
I, I want to say that like if you like if you still like refer to like new school hip hop as like mumble rap, you're telling on yourself, because I do feel like the people who came up with that term hate black people, or at
no,
least like
no, 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 no,
or
no,
at
no.
least
Time out.
or resent the youth. Like either you resent your culture or you hate black people when you use a term like mumble rap. Honestly,
I don't resent my culture. I don't resent.
and I don't want to imply that you do. I don't want to imply that you do, because God knows that
So
you don't.
sometimes the kids are all right. Sometimes they're just not. All right, but that's just me.
When shit's boring, it's boring, and I will not argue that.
Exactly. And my thing is with the mumble rap is like it's not the fact that I don't hate my culture, I don't hate
Or
my
SoundCloud
race.
rap for that matter.
It's the fact that I've heard better. I know better can be done. Stop doing that.
And for what it's worth, I've been saying for a long time, and you know this, that like there is a world where we can have everything on the same fucking plates. But as it stands, like you have people in our business like dictating the direction of the ship.
Exactly.
And
And
we have
then
to take
not
them out of the
only that,
equation.
the though not only those people are steering the ship, you also have the idiots that actually enjoy that shit, that actually are, for some odd reason, they're the forefront and the spearhead and influences of this society. And who the fuck made that the thing?
Like in regards to just like rappers that I don't enjoy or listen to, like I'm not going to like give y'all a hard time for spending money on things that you enjoy, but like I just like there needs to be delineation. If there isn't any delineation, like I then like you've lost me. Like we in like and as I recall, I was on a train ride from Baltimore watching a clip of Juicy J saying, "Yo, there's no money left. Like we're not making any money across the board, and we need to like have a conversation about that." And that to me, and I would think that someone like Juicy J, who's like directly involved with like artists like Meg and things like that, is trying to like just like signal, like send a signal flyer out that like we need to like just like wrap our arms around one another.
See that
Overall, I'm not gonna get paid.
that's scary actually, because think about it. Why
Tell me the way.
why do these mainstream rappers have that style of the mainstream? To make money. Like I'm willing to bet you that if there wasn't a set like template of how you could get on, there would be a wider range of, you know, um not ability, but like a wider range of rapping. And so when you have people that, you know, see, okay, that's where the money is. That's how you make the money. You rap like Amigo over omnious ass beats that may make a motherfucker want to rob somebody. Boom. That's how you do it. If Juicy J is telling you that the money's running out, then what are we doing at that point? Because you're now doing something for the money that there's not much left of. You might want to figure it the fuck out and get creative. Ooh, that's a word that you should think of. Creative.
Let me say this. Let me say this real quick, and we can get out of here. Like, Ice Spice puts out Munch, blows up, and gets a cosign from Nicki Minaj. And like the alarm
Nice.
bells go off in my own head, but that's neither here nor there. On
Yeah.
the other side of the coin, No Name comes out with a new release, and then like has a big ass show and brings out all of like the Chicago hip hop world. We're talking Saba, we're talking Common, and everybody else in between, and just like, and we see a significant difference between the two. Like, I want like because like I have no problem with like the Ice Spice style, but like as soon as like what she does is no longer in vogue, her career might suffer, and who knows if the OG in her corner is going to have her back. No Name on the other side has the whole city riding for her. You know what I'm saying? I recall a time when we had like cats like Chance and like the whole Save Money squad, just like, oh, like we're this is Chicago. What we do is for our city and like lifting up our city. We and like, you know, like things have changed for Chance specifically like over the years, and you imagine and like and notice that like things started getting rocky when the money started getting involved. Like in the post, like him winning his first Grammy, we see how just like how this man descended and how he's coming back up. He's coming back up with strong ass bars. Maybe the songs aren't to your liking, but like he's doing what he knows we all could. He's doing what he is doing, what we all knew he could do in the first place.
Yeah.
So let's just like you know, like suck on that a little bit. We hope you like the songs. If you don't know what we're talking about, they're in the
Real
description,
quick.
and I'll leave links to everything that I've said. Hopefully later at a later date. Go in. You have 4 minutes.
All right, real quick. I will say this about Ice Spice. You don't look like the ditzy bronxite that you're selling.
Careful.
She doesn't.
Careful.
I don't know. I feel like she's more than that.
Lead with that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I probably should have led with that, huh? But yeah, no, I feel like she might be. It might be a gimmick. It might, and she might be smarter than she leads on.
Careful.
Listen, Cardi B taught me a very valuable lesson about Bronxite women, and they're a lot smarter than they present themselves as.
I don't like that word. It makes me nervous.
No, like again, with Cardi is low-key a nerd.
1000%. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. I can see like people with the pitchforks coming. Let me just say this. It's like we underestimate black women in this culture. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, this industry led us to believe there can only be one women rapper who gets all of the praise and the accolades. Be it Meg, be it Cardi, be it Nicki. But like the fact of the matter is, there may be 50 great women rappers who all have spectacular songs that you would love to hear, but we have to break open the floodgates.
But that's the thing, though, with these women in rap that are now in the mainstream. That's the thing. All of them are fucking smart. Like,
let's not use that word. Let's not use that word.
Why? Why not use smart?
It's like I almost feel like when people who like who are looking for an argument or like look at these niggas talking about like sisters this way. It's like it's almost like I feel like people will lead with like, oh, they're implying that like sisters aren't smart. And that's not what like Olos is getting towards. It's just
no. People are stupid. That's it. That's all. So, and if you have a problem with that, whew, boy, do I have news for you. And me too. I'm not the brightest tool in the shed either.
I'll definitely admit that.
However,
in regards to myself,
these women in hip hop, the moves that they're making and generating the sales that they make on our backs, they're not stupid. I'll tell you that.
Wait, I'll say this.
So what's the opposite of stupid? You tell me.
I'll just say this. When this
smart, bro. They just sound like, The the hood rat is much more relatable than the intelligent smart smarty arty person. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna be true to who you are, absolutely, but don't get it twisted. Like, these women are not, they're not your regular people, man. Like, they're not. They're just not.
I just want to say that like when this year's Double XL freshman
Really
list came
intelligent
out,
at what they're doing and how they market themselves. I'm sorry.
it's all good. The only rappers that I knew on this year's Double XL freshman list were the women. Like I knew the producer obviously because I love production, but like the only rappers that I knew like just on a first name basis were all the women rappers, and maybe like one dude, but like he was from across the pond, and that's the only reason why I knew who he was. But like all the other guys, I don't know who the fuck you are, and there are a lot of you, and like I made a TikTok about it. I'm like I love the fact that like as I'm getting older, I'm kind of losing touch, and that's just inevitable. But like it goes to show you that like these young men need to learn from the sisters and like just like try and just like roll out the red carpet is what I'm saying. It's like
The girls paid attention to yesterday's rappers. That's why they spit now. That's it. That's all. Because here's the thing, right? The women in hip hop, they've always had a hand that wasn't considered as important, but it's a significant hand in building this shit. So, like, the thing is that the forefront of hip hop are the men, naturally.
shouldn't be.
It, uh, I think it should be unisex, but neither here nor there.
Fair
The
enough.
fact of the matter is that the women have always had that small chip on their shoulder that they have to prove that they are better than the men. And now we're at the point where
It's
the
a
women
fact.
are better than the men. Why? Because they're actually spitting that shit. Yeah, it might not be the lyrical content that you agree with because they're rapping
You can't
about
relate
their
to their
pussy,
experiences
but I mean, when's the last time you've heard a dude rap about getting it? So
every
why
fucking
can't they
day.
rap about them having it? I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me.
This is our first 2 hour episode, and a lot was said. Maybe a lot will fall through the cracks. But maybe like what can be said about what we're doing is that we're bursting at the seams and we have a lot to say about the world around us. Thank you to those who will like give our show a chance. And we hope you glean anything from like the last 2 hours of us just like expounding upon art and where it's going and things of that nature. Happy Halloween. Please know that the world is absolutely terrifying, but don't be tricked because you are a treat. Please look in the mirror and
Oh,
tell yourself that you love yourself. If you can't do that, please know that myself and Los love you in the most like platonic and supportive way possible.
I love you.
See, yeah, exactly. We
You
love you.
are
We
enough.
sincerely do. You are enough. Have some water. And please, for the love of fucking Christ, wear a mask. Over your nose, under your mouth, wear it correctly, and wear like one with a strong filter because who knows what Miss Vid has in store for us in the new year. What we hate the most is you know what? Fuck it. Free Palestine, free Yemen, free Congo, free Sudan, and any other like just like group of people under like siege from the nation state. We hate the nation state. Down with the nation state. Countries are just lines written in the sand. Fuck all that shit. People deserve to be free.
General freedom worldwide. Let's start there.
People deserve to be free. They just want to like live. People just want to fucking live. It's not as complicated as you think. It is not hard to get educated. Just go looking for something, and it's really easy to verify your information. Don't fall for the flim flam. Okay? All right. Los, anything else before we get out of here?
Uh, no, not really.
There you have it, folks. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll hopefully, best case scenario, see you in November. It's Native American Heritage Month. Give land back. You know what it is. Love, peace,
Now
and
I got
chicken
something to
grease.
say. Shit.
See, don't let's not even get started. We are about to hit 2 hours and 10 seconds.
All right, I'll just
Godspeed.
say this:
Okay, here we go.
if you can't complain about Indigenous Day, I mean Columbus Day being called Columbus Day, and then one it to be called Indigenous Day, and yet you side with Israel. The math don't math. It doesn't add up.
For the record, both groups of people are Semitic peoples. And if there's one thing we don't tolerate on this show, we don't tolerate anti-Semitism in any way, shape, or form. All right? Like, don't ever fucking get it twisted.
But don't ride that.
We paid attention
you know
in school.
like,
you know what I mean? And we care enough to like delineate like with all the shit that's happened to us in this country, to our people for the last 3 years, we've learned a thing or two. And like
I wish we.
I don't want to go. I don't want to pull up my like. I'm gonna bear witness as long as I have to because I want to get older and tell like I want to tell the new youngsters when I'm 50 or so what the fuck I saw and who was perpetuating that shit. And like, I don't like. I remember like when like at the height of like the George Floyd like protests and things like that, like seeing like people from like my dad's like generation just like completely break down over what was happening to us, like penetrated my soul. Like so, and just to see like kids, my cousins are having kids now, and to like see like kids my cousins children's age just like accept like the reality that like, oh, like, you know, like when Ye was like, oh, we might not live to 25 but fuck y'all, we're still alive. That's their fucking reality.
Yeah.
And that should not be the case. If that shit doesn't just like infuriate you, what the fuck are you even on? Get yourself together. Because I know what's important to me as like elections are taking place. So like make of that what you will. We love you. We'll be back soon. Goodbye. Thank you for your time, sincerely.